Hello, my friends. This is Tassif back with another live stream. This is 10:02 p.m. Saturday night, and the date is April 13th of 2024. As you can see, my hair is shorter than it was the last time you saw me on live because I got a haircut. You can let me know how it looks. All right. My friends, as you are tuning in, please write something in the chat window. And if this is your first time joining this live stream, then introduce yourself. Let me know where you're from, what state, what city, if you're from outside the US, what country you're from. And then I'm going to give you some updates from my day. Okay. I attended a really wonderful event today, and I'm going to talk about that. But before I get to that, I'm going to talk about something else, some border crisis issues. Terry Dunlap from South Dakota. My friend says South Dakota is still alive. South Dakota is alive. South Dakota is doing well because we love South Dakota, because South Dakota is full of freedom-loving Americans. So my friend Terry from South Dakota, she's here. Welcome, Terry. And then I want to wait and see who else joins. Okay, I see more people have joined. Please introduce yourself in the chat window. Give me a thumbs up. Like this video, like this live stream. My friends, today was a significant day for me because I attended a really awesome event. An event where I was surrounded by freedom-loving Americans, conservatives, people who love this country, people who want to make America great again. So I was surrounded by those people at an event, and I'm going to talk about it. And I'm also going to talk about some illegal immigration issues, but I want to wait maybe half a minute more and see who else joins. Half a minute more, not too long. Are we going to do a countdown? No, let's not do a countdown. Well, we're going to just wait for a few more seconds, and I'm going to start my discussion. As you are joining, introduce yourself, write some comments, ask me a question, okay? That'd be great. All right, my friends, we are almost there. I see more people have joined. Welcome. Let me start today's discussion by talking about the border crisis. My friends, we have a southern border. We have a northern border. The southern border is the border that we share with Mexico. The northern border is the border that we share with Canada. So our two neighbors are Mexico and Canada. And there's another border that we need to talk about. It's the maritime border. We have the East Coast. We have the West Coast, right? And then we have, in the south, we have the Gulf of Mexico. And so it's not just, we're so blessed to be a huge country, but that also means that we have a massive border. The northern border, southern border, the maritime border on the East Coast and the West Coast, and, near the Gulf of Mexico. And so, my friends, having such a huge border, like when you combine it all together, it means that we need to have lots of resources to secure our northern border, our southern border, our maritime border. And so the question is, do foreign nationals arrive illegally by boat? Okay, we know that at the southern border we have a crisis. Foreign nationals cross the southern border, they enter the United States illegally, and that's a crisis that I have been talking about for quite a while now. And then there's the northern border, which also has border security issues, which maybe I'll talk about in the near future. That's also a very important topic that I really haven't covered. So I might do that soon. But then think about West Coast, East Coast. You know, we have such a big coastline to the west, to the east, and does that mean that foreign nationals are coming to United States illegally by boat? Well, my friends, migrant boat landings have increased according to reports. That is correct. Migrant boat landings have increased, which means that foreign nationals are entering the United States. They're coming into the United States illegally by boat also. Now, people have, for many years, people have, tried to come to the U.S. illegally by the Pacific Ocean. And especially in California, there has been a significant increase in maritime illegal activities like smuggling. My friend Terry just mentioned smuggling. Yes, smuggling is a huge issue. In recent years, it's been a huge issue for California. And let me just share with you some data that I found from a news report. So in fiscal year 2020, law enforcement officials, both federal and state and also local. So local, state, federal law enforcement officials have recorded 308 maritime smuggling events in the California, they call it the California Area of Responsibility, according to Customs and Border Protection. And then, Billy is here. Billy, welcome. Glad to see that you've joined. Thank you for joining, Billy. By the way, I did not do a live stream yesterday. Some of you may have noticed that. That's because I had a major speech at an event this morning. And so I know usually when I'm doing live stream, I do it for, anytime between half hour to 2 hours, usually more than an hour. But yesterday I was working on a few other things, so I just didn't get to do the live stream. So I hope you understand that. And I did miss you all. It's wonderful when I'm doing a live stream and my friend Terry is here and Billy is here, and I know JW and Teresa Ross and Pamela Hernandez and so many others, Scat007, Arletta Jordan, and their Badger Den, Susan Epp, Laura Floyd. They are all the frequent, viewers on my channel, and they are always participating in the live chat. And I may have missed a few names. I'm sorry if I've done that, but you know who you are. So when I don't do a live stream, I really miss you all. I miss you all because this is a time when I get to relax and I get to share my thoughts and I get to, voice my opinions, and I also get to learn a lot from you. And when I see your questions, when I see your comments, it really becomes a conversation which I enjoy. And so if I skip a day, I feel like I haven't I'm missing you all. So I hope you understand that I really enjoy doing this. So yesterday was a very busy evening. I didn't get to do a live stream, but I'm back today. I don't know exactly how long this live stream will be. A lot depends on what kind of questions you have, what kind of comments you have, what things you want to discuss. So it can be half hour, it can be an hour, or it can continue for 2 hours, right? I think the last live stream I did day before yesterday was 2 hours and 9 minutes. So we had a big conversation that day, right? Lots to discuss. By the way, you can see that I've got a really big size. I think this is the venti size for tea. Anyway, um, so last fiscal year, CBP recorded 736 maritime smuggling events in the California area of responsibility. 736 last fiscal year, but in fiscal year 2020 was 308. So it's a 140% increase. Okay, and so according to reports, nearly 8,000 people have been apprehended while trying to enter the U.S. illegally through where do you know? The Pacific Ocean. The Pacific Ocean, the coastline, and it's not just the coastline. There are other inlets, and that's since 2020. So since 2020, nearly 8,000 people have been apprehended while trying to enter the U.S. illegally through the Pacific Ocean, and that's according to CBP. And I just saw in the news a report of a maritime smuggling operation. And so, I talk about the southern border crisis a lot, as you know. But when there is weak leadership in the White House, lots of problems occur. Lots of problems. So in addition to the southern border crisis, we also have maritime security issues. And this is all very depressing. And so that's why I keep saying we need to elect Donald Trump so that we can start addressing these problems. So my friends, let me tell you what happened today. I mentioned earlier that on April 13th, which is today, I have an event where I'll be the featured speaker. And so that event was earlier this morning. It was about 6.5, 7 miles from where I live, so it wasn't that far, in a place called Cross Plains, Wisconsin. Cross Plains, Wisconsin. You can look it up. And that event happened at a very nice location. It was the 2nd Congressional District Caucus. So in Wisconsin, we have congressional districts. I live in the 2nd Congressional District, and so the 2nd Congressional District GOP, so the Republicans in the 2nd Congressional District, they had their caucus, the 2nd Congressional District Caucus. And so I was a featured speaker. It was a great event. It was a great event. And you know what? This is a very important year, not just in Wisconsin, but for the whole country. And that's because it's an election year. And so there was a lot of energy in the room. I don't know how many people exactly were there, but I would guess maybe between, I don't know, well over 100, maybe 150, maybe more than 150. You know what? Now that I think about it, I should have asked my friend who's the chairman of the 2nd Congressional District. His name is Billy Johnson. I should have asked him the number, how many people were there. But anyway, it was a packed room, and I was a featured speaker. So I talked about immigration. And I can tell you what I talked about, or what you can do is you can go to my YouTube channel and you can watch a video. You can watch a video that I uploaded. And let me tell you what video it is. So I just uploaded on my YouTube channel a video called My Speech on Immigration at Republican Party of Wisconsin's 2nd Congressional District Caucus. So this video is close to 20 minutes long. So it's 19 minutes and 54 seconds. I just uploaded that on my YouTube channel a few hours ago. And so you can go and take a look at that video. It's a video of my speech from start to finish. And I talked about, you know, the fact that I am a legal immigrant and a naturalized U.S. citizen. I talked about the importance of, having a strong immigration system. And, I said that there should be only one pathway to come to the United States. That should be the legal pathway. And we should secure the border and stop the influx of illegal immigrants. I talked about some of the problems that we see in sanctuary cities like New York and Chicago. I talked about the fact that New York City politicians are handing out prepaid debit cards to the migrants. And I talked about what some communities are doing to prevent the arrival of illegal immigrants by declaring that they are non-sanctuary communities. I talked about many other things. So you can actually, if you want, I would actually encourage that. Please check out that video. Check out that video. What's really amazing is that, you obviously hear me most of the time. You can see me in my room, live streaming, or doing a video from my desk, which is all great. But I think you should check out the videos of my presentations on stage, okay? Because it's a totally different setting. I've got a big audience in front of me, and as I am talking, I can engage with the audience. If somebody asks me a question, I can answer that from the stage. Well, today that wasn't the case. I didn't get any questions during my speech. That's because there was no Q&A. There was no question and answer. But you could hear the reactions from the audience throughout my speech. Sometimes people applauded, they were cheering, and as I mentioned a point that seemed significant, the people responded, by applause or by just through various expressions and reactions. So I think it's important for you to watch that speech, to watch that video, because it'll give you a good understanding of what the conservatives, what the Republicans in Wisconsin are thinking. It'll give you an understanding of the sense of urgency that we here in Wisconsin feel. We feel that there's need for urgent action, but urgent action is missing because in the White House, it's Joe Biden, and Joe Biden is not doing anything to secure the border, but there's an urgent need to secure the border. And so you can sense the urgency when you watch that video and when you hear how people are reacting from the audience. And then also, when I said "Make America Great Again," you could hear people's applause, and you could feel. I mean, just watch that video, and you'll understand what kind of strong support Donald Trump has in the 2nd Congressional District of Wisconsin. And let me tell you, the 2nd Congressional District of Wisconsin, it's one of the most liberal congressional districts, not just in Wisconsin, but I think in the country. One of the most liberal, Democrat-heavy districts. But that doesn't mean that the Republicans here, the conservatives here, are not energized. No, we are very, very much energized, because we understand that because the 2nd Congressional District is such, it has the city of Madison, which is a huge blue city, but, we understand the importance of increasing turnout. So the 2nd Congressional District may be, a Democrat-heavy district, but when Republicans can increase voter turnout in the 2nd Congressional District, that has a huge impact in statewide elections. So somebody who's running for a statewide office, like U.S. Senate or the governor's office or the state treasurer, the state treasurer's office, if somebody is running for a statewide office, okay, a Republican candidate, that person has to pay attention to the second congressional district. Yes, I know that the second congressional district is a Democrat heavy district, but it is important for any statewide GOP candidate to make sure that there is high voter turnout for Republicans in the second congressional district, because that turnout helps, you know, win a statewide election for Republicans. And so there was a lot of energy in the room. I had the honor of being the featured speaker, so I spoke for close to 20 minutes. But there were other speakers. So there were congressional candidates who spoke, two congressional candidates, and um, the front runner in the from the GOP, the front runner in the Senate race from the GOP side, from the Republican side, Eric Hovde. He had, he was not able to attend in person, but there was someone from his campaign who spoke, and also there were votes that took place to select delegates, three delegates for the Republican National Convention that's going to happen, that's going to take place in Milwaukee in July. And then that's going to take place in July. And then there were also, other speakers. There was somebody from, the Republican Party of Wisconsin's chairman, the state chairman was there. And then there were two state senators who spoke at the event. And there was also, a representative from Republican Party of Wisconsin's second congressional district region. And so there was a lot of energy in the room. There were some really important people who have strong commitment to helping Republicans win. There were some strong, freedom-loving Americans. Everyone in the room, each and every person in the room is a freedom-loving American. And that's why they were there today, because they understand, it was a beautiful day. And there were many things that people could have done this morning, go out and enjoy the lakes, go on a long drive, have fun. But no, each and every person who was in that room, they were there because they love America, and they cannot allow the United States to be destroyed by Democrat policies. And so each and every person in that room was there to help make America great again, to help ensure that Republicans win in November 2024, whether it's a congressional seat, whether it's a Senate seat, whether it's the U.S. presidency, probably the most important election. So people were there to help support candidates for state legislature, for Congress, for Senate, and for the presidency. So I had a great time, from start to finish. I arrived early, and me and my mom, we were both there because my mother is very active. She's a super duper conservative, okay? You can probably tell because I am a very strong conservative, and it's because of how my mother raised me, because of my upbringing, right? Because of the principles and the values that I inherited from my mother. And so she and we both went to this event, Republican Party's second congressional district caucus, and had a really great time. So I felt really honored to have 20 minutes to share my thoughts, because the agenda was packed. There were speakers after speakers after speakers. So I had 20 minutes to talk, which during which I shared my thoughts on the border crisis. I talked about very briefly, my personal journey. I didn't go into details, but because I wanted to focus on the border crisis and some of those issues. But I did highlight the fact that I came to the United States as a legal immigrant me and my mom both, and we both became U.S. citizens in 2014. And I also highlighted the fact that approximately 1 million people get the permanent residency to live and work in the United States every year, and that several hundreds of thousands become naturalized U.S. citizens every year. So I basically made it very clear that when Democrats say that Republicans are anti-immigrant, well, the Democrats are lying. It's a lie, because Republicans are friendly towards immigrants. We just want the immigrants to come to the United States legally. Go through the proper process, follow the laws and rules, complete the paperwork, go through background check, and enter legally. That process requires patience, but patience is important. You have to be patient because this is a thorough process that immigrants have to go through. They have to be vetted, they have to go through background check, and they have to fulfill lots of rules and paperwork, so on and so forth. And so I highlighted that, and then I also talked about what New York is going through, Chicago. I talked about Colorado, what's happening in Colorado, how Denver is suffering because of illegal immigration, and how some of the other communities are declaring that they are non-sanctuary communities. So they are rejecting illegal immigrants. And then I also highlighted that illegal immigrants are using up our resources in so many different ways. They are getting taxpayer-funded housing. They are getting free food paid for by American taxpayers, and also illegal immigrants are showing up in emergency rooms, and they are getting medical services, and they are not paying for those services. They are getting the services for free for them, but not free for the American citizens. And because the Democrats are using our tax dollars to provide services to the migrants. And then I also talked about the fact that our hospitals are facing crisis because of uncompensated care, because the migrants are showing up, receiving services, and not paying the bills. And so if this continues, then I'm afraid that our hospitals may have to close their doors, which is going to be devastating. So I highlighted all of this, but still, I'd say watch the video. I think you're going to enjoy it. You're going to enjoy it, and you're going to see what kind of strong Republicans we have in the 2nd Congressional District of Wisconsin. Okay? I mean, you can feel the patriotism in the room if you watch that video. You can feel the energy in the room. You can feel the enthusiasm in the room. You can feel how eager the people are to see Donald Trump win the presidency. And so please watch that video. I had a great time with my friends. Everyone in that room, I call them my friends. They are my fellow Americans. They are patriots. They are my friends, and they are strong conservatives, freedom-loving Americans. I was so pleased to be there and to have the opportunity to speak. So I enjoyed that. I would really encourage you to watch that video. Watch that video, my friends. It's wonderful. You're going to like it. So let me look at some comments here. Billy writes that Joe cannot fill an elevator and you filled a big room. Thank you, Billy. And Billy also writes, be right back in a few minutes. All right, Billy, we're going to wait for you. I'm going to enjoy a sip of my beverage here, black tea. Terry writes, I watched it. I was excited to see the response. Exactly, Terry. And Terry, I'm sure you know quite a few of the people in that room because, you spent so many years in Wisconsin. You know the political people in the state. And, there were folks from Greene County. So, it was just great. It was great. Greene County, Sauk County, and there were people from Dane County, Lafayette, all the counties in the 2nd congressional district. Obviously, Rock County also. Terry writes, oh yes, I tried to see if I knew anyone. Yep. So I have some images of the crowd. So obviously you can see only a fraction of the crowd, a fraction of the audience in that video. So, there were many, many, many rows of chairs behind, people I was looking at, people I was facing. And so I'm going to try to post a few pictures of the audience, and it was just great. It was wonderful. Obviously, there's a lot of energy. And Terry, you need to come visit Wisconsin. Terry writes, thank your mother for filming it for us. All right, Terry, I will convey your thanks. Well, and thank you for mentioning that. Thank you for mentioning that. So, I always say my mother, she's my advisor, my navigator, and my spiritual leader. She's always guiding me. She's giving me advice. She's always guiding me in the right direction. And then, when I'm sad or when I'm upset about something, or when I'm feeling like, oh, something's not working out, she's there to give me spiritual strength. So, Terry, I really appreciate you recognizing my mother. And when I tell her, I'm sure she's also going to appreciate that very much. So, thank you for that. All right. So anyway, I had a great time. And one other thing I want to mention is I sent out an e-newsletter today. I have mentioned this before, that I have an e-newsletter that I send out usually once or twice a month. Okay, and so I sent out an e-newsletter today, and I shared in that e-newsletter, I shared links to some of my videos. I shared uh, a link to this video from the event this morning. And so that's also included in my e-newsletter. So anyone who receives my e-newsletter will be able to read a little bit about the event that I was at today, and then click on the video and watch the video on YouTube. And also I shared the flyer for Door County Republican Party's upcoming Lincoln Day dinner. And at that event, I am on schedule as the special guest speaker. And that event is going to be taking place on May 4th. So it's a Saturday. I'm hoping it's going to be a beautiful Saturday in Door County. That's my hope. And Door County is beautiful. Door County is amazing. So anyway, Door County, May 4th. It's a Saturday, and it'll be Door County Republican Party's Lincoln Day dinner, and I'm going to be the special guest speaker, and I'm looking forward to that. So I shared that flyer in the e-newsletter that I sent out. So if anyone wants to sign up to receive my e-newsletter, it's free. You just get 1 or 2 emails from me in a month, and you can see all my updates. Pamela Hernandez is here. Pamela writes, I'm here, I'm late. Not a problem, Pamela. Not a problem. I'm glad you're here, and I'm sure the others who are watching, they are also happy that you're here. Thank you for joining. And so, Pamela, I was saying that I was at a great event today where I did a 20-minute speech, and I uploaded that video on YouTube. So if you have not watched that video, please do so. It's a great event that I was at, and watch that video of my speech. Let me know your thoughts and comments, okay? All right, so Pamela writes, I miss you all, and then a heart. Well, Pamela, we missed you too. And I missed doing a live stream yesterday, so I'm back today. Pamela writes, will do. Yeah, please watch that video. So please send me your email address. You can just let me know that you want to get my e-newsletters free of charge. If you don't like it, you can unsubscribe anytime. So you sign up for the e-newsletter. I'll email you once or twice a month. The e-newsletter I usually send out once or twice a month. I used to do it weekly, but because life is so busy, it's hard for me to do it every week. So usually I say once or twice a month. And if you receive it and you don't like it, you can unsubscribe. No problem. You can unsubscribe. But please sign up for it, okay? Because you'll get updates from me. Deanna is here. Deanna writes, I'm really concerned on the abuse of the 14th Amendment and anchor babies. All right, Deanna. Well, thank you for sharing your thoughts. Give me 1 second. Okay. So Pamela writes, where is your email? So Pamela, you have to sign up for my e-newsletter because I have to enter your email address in the in the list of people who get my e-newsletter. So if I don't have your email, if you're not signed up, you're not going to receive that email. What you can do, Pamela, if you go to my website, and my website is Tausif Anam, which is my name, tausifanam.net. If you go to my website, if you scroll down on the homepage, you'll see that there's a box where you can type in your email and you can sign up for my e-newsletter. If you don't want to do that, what you can do is you can send me an email and just say, sign me up for the e-newsletter, because I need your email address to sign you up. So either you can do it yourself by going to my website, or if you want me to manually sign you up for my e-newsletter, then just send me an email. So I'll have your email address, and my email is tausif at tausifanam.net. Once again, tausif at tausifanam.net. That's my email address. You can send me an email, or, as I said, go to my website, tausifanam.net, and you can sign up yourself if you don't want me to do it manually. So it's up to you, whatever option you prefer. And if you decide after getting my email that, you don't like it, you can unsubscribe anytime, which I hope you won't, but that's always an option. All right. So please do that, because that way you're going to get some more information which you won't find on my YouTube channel, like event flyers, events that I'm going to. I share those flyers through my e-newsletter. And Pamela writes, I have a late question. What's your question, Pamela? And Deanna, by the way, thank you for joining. I know I didn't really get to address your concerns, but thanks for joining. I appreciate it. So Pamela, what's your question? You said I have a late question. What's your question? Let me know. I'm gonna maybe wait for a few seconds. I'll let you all write. I'll let you write the question, Pamela. Terry is writing, Deanna, I recall asking my mother about anchor babies when I was just a kid. Even then, I believed that was not right. Yeah, I think this. I'm not a lawyer. I wish I was a lawyer. Then I'd be able to, discuss the law and the Constitution surrounding this, birthright citizenship. And so, because I'm not a lawyer, I'm not gonna go into that discussion of birthright citizenship. But it just from a common sense standpoint, it really doesn't make sense that if a tourist, let's say a tourist, somebody who's on a tourist visa, comes to the U.S., has a baby, then the baby becomes a U.S. citizen. I mean, it's just, that's birthright citizenship. But I think this is something that needs to be discussed further, because we know, as you mentioned, anchor babies, illegal immigrants, they come to the U.S., they give birth to babies, and the babies become U.S. citizens, like automatically. That's birthright citizenship. And it's something that's, if you look at that, if you look at birthright citizenship, if it's something that many feel is being abused, that foreign nationals just come here, including those who come here illegally, and they give birth and the babies get citizenship, is that fair? Is that fair? I mean, I wish I was a lawyer, then I'd be able to discuss the Constitution in details and share my legal opinion. but I'm not a lawyer, so I don't have that expertise. So I'm not going to go into that. But that is definitely something that that needs to be discussed further. Okay. Pamela writes, I want to ask you about, are we in a war now? Pamela, I don't know, but I can tell you that ever since Joe Biden came to office, the world, the world has become a very unstable place. Very unstable. I mean, think about when Trump was in office. No new wars. No new wars. We did have a strong military. I mean, Trump did, he did a lot for the military. Donald Trump, he did a lot for the military. He supports the military. He helped the military. He helped strengthen our defense, our nation's defense. And, there was a lot of peace. A lot of peace. I mean, the world is never a perfect place. There'll always be conflicts. There'll always be some kind of clashes and some tension. But just think about it, that when Trump was in office, there was a lot of peace around the world. Okay, and look now. There's conflict in South Asia. There's conflict in the Middle East. There's tension, in the Indo-Pacific region, and obviously there are other examples of social and political unrest in Europe and Africa. And so the whole world seems to be heading towards greater tension and greater conflict, and that's very sad. That's very sad. I'm not an expert on international military issues and strategies. I'm by training, I'm actually a healthcare policy analyst. Okay, I may have mentioned that before. So if you ask about my area of expertise, like academic and professional expertise, I'm a healthcare policy analyst. That's really my expertise. But obviously, I have knowledge about a lot of different issues: energy policy, transportation policy, and then obviously immigration. I talk about immigration a lot because I'm so passionate about this subject, and I want to do what I can to help secure the southern border, to help raise awareness that we need to secure the southern border. Anyway, so I wish I could comment more on the on global conflict and military involvements and everything that's going on, geopolitical tension. I can't, because I don't have that expertise. I could be a commentator, just commenting on things, but I really don't have the expertise to talk about Middle East and to talk about other parts of the world. Now I do have some expertise in terms of South Asia, just because I am originally from South Asia. So I grew up in Bangladesh. I know the political history of that region, just because I was born and raised there, and I grew up learning a lot. So I do have a sense of the political history and people's sentiments and the different, cultural divisions and the language differences, and how people tend to think in certain parts of South Asia. So I have a better sense of South Asia, but even then I don't talk about South Asian politics in details, especially with regard to how the United States interacts with the South Asian countries and the diplomatic ties. I don't comment too much about it because I don't study that on a day-to-day basis. I don't. But obviously, I grew up in Bangladesh, and India is a neighbor of Bangladesh, and Myanmar is a neighbor of Bangladesh. And I know the history of Bangladesh, how the country came to be, that once upon a time it was all part, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, that big region was under the British. So it was a British colony. And then after the British left, India and Pakistan split. And Bangladesh was originally East Pakistan, and the Pakistan that you know now was West Pakistan. And then there was a war, the Liberation War of 1971, that resulted in Bangladesh gaining independence and achieving victory in the war and became its own country. And so I have a sense of that, and I've talked about a brief history of Bangladesh, giving people an overview, talking about my upbringing and my education background, and giving overview of Bangladesh and talking about what the country is like and where it stands in terms of its economy and trade and international affairs, so on and so forth. But that's because I'm from that part of the world, but I don't actively study that region. I do pay attention because I am an informed individual, at least I try to be. So I pay attention to what's going on, but I don't study South Asian politics and American diplomatic ties with countries of South Asia on a day-to-day basis. I don't study that, and so that's why I don't talk about it very much. Let's see some comments here. Yeah, okay. I see some comments about the conflict in the Middle East and U.S. involvement. Really, it's heartbreaking to see. I mean, it's like, just imagine yourself up in space. Okay, you're in space, looking at the beautiful Earth. You are in space, looking at the beautiful Earth, uh, and it's a beautiful Earth. But when you zoom in, you see this beautiful Earth from space. Now, I've never been to space, but I can imagine because I have a strong imagination. So think about this world from the space. It's a beautiful Earth, but then you zoom in, and you'll see that because of the politics that we have on Earth, because of the different groups and the different different political boundaries, there's so much of conflict over boundaries, conflict over land, conflict over um, you know uh, cultural differences, conflicts over religious differences, conflicts over natural resources, so on and so forth. And it's really sad. I wish everyone in this world could just get along and be happy. We're all created by the same God, and we all belong to this earth. And I guess I'm being a little philosophical, but really, I really want peace on earth. That's what I want, but it's not there. So, thinking in terms of the practical life, the US can play a huge role in ensuring peace and prosperity around the world. And the US can only be effective when we have a strong leader in the White House. And that's why it all goes back to the November. It all goes back to, who's going to be in the White House. So that brings me to November 2024, which is coming up in a few months. And we have to elect Donald Trump. We have to elect Donald Trump because Donald Trump is the leader who can help ensure peace on earth and who can inspire future generations of leaders. All right, let me look at some comments here. Pamela writes, were your parents strict with you? No, my parents were not strict with me. No, I had a great childhood. Okay. I never really had any unmet need. I had all the books that I wanted to read. I had lots of great food. I had lots of toys to play with, really educational stuff too, like Legos, not just any toys, but Legos and stuff, good things that help with brain development. And then I used to be very sick growing up. So, after I was born, I think, soon after I was born, maybe at around the age of 2, I don't remember exactly when, but I used to suffer from various allergies, dust allergies and pollen allergies, and I had asthma. I had asthma. So I always, I mean, my family always took special care of me, and I'm the only child, okay? I don't have siblings. And so I always received great care. And as a child, I never felt um, that, oh, there's something missing, that I don't have this, or I want this and my parents are not giving me this, whatever it may be. I I had abundance. Okay, I had more than I needed. And my mother was always like 24/7. She was always very, very careful about my food and my diet. Give me 1 second, dear friends. Um, all right, about my food and my diet, because I had so much of allergies. I had food allergies, and then I had, as I said, pollen and dust allergies. So she had to make sure that our residence is completely dust free, that there is no dust accumulating anywhere, whether it's the windowsill or some bookshelf or something. So our residence, my mother took the lead in making sure that it would always be clean, and I wasn't, the and just growing up, I also understood what things I need to avoid. So for example, for many years I couldn't eat shrimp growing up. Shrimp, I still don't eat lobster, but now I do eat shrimp, although I don't eat as much. um, so I also knew what I needed to stay away from. And so when the doctor said, stay away from shrimp, and my mother explained that to me, I never, like as a child, I never said, oh, I want shrimp, I want it, I'm gonna have it. I was reasonable, I think, growing up. I'm not bragging, I'm not praising my own self, I'm just telling you the truth. And and so like I knew that during certain seasons, if I go out and play or play in the sun for too long, and if I sweat a lot, then I may be sick, I may become sick. So I knew my limits. And so I would spend a lot of time indoor. I did spend time outdoor, but only in moderation. And you know what happened? My Our family doctor had said that, hey, when this child becomes a teenager, like after the age of 12, a lot of the problems that he's facing now, health problems, these are going to go away. So as I became a teenager after the age of 12, as I turned 13 and 14, my health improved significantly. So a lot of the things that I was allergic to, I actually can consume now. So as a child, I couldn't eat shrimp because I would have allergy problems. But now I can eat shrimp. Although, like I said, I eat in moderation. So I'm not gonna sit with a whole pile of shrimp, as some people like to do. Like they order a basket of shrimp. I don't do that. But a lot of my health problems went away, and I became very, very athletic. I used to play cricket, and I was very good at it. I could run really fast, and I played sports every day. There was a period of time in my life during my teen years when I would play almost every day. For 2 hours, I would be outside playing, engaging in sports, and doing a lot of physical activity. And so my health significantly improved. Now, I still do have um, allergy issues, like in April and May, around this time, I the pollen in the air, as the flowers are blooming, there's so much of pollen in the air, those pollens bother me. And so, like, and I know what to do. So I know how to take care of myself, so that I don't have those problems. So you can hear it a little bit, but I take my nasal spray, I take the allergy medications, cetirizine, on time. just to make sure that during the spring season, as the flowers are blooming, that I don't get sick. Um, so just going back to the question about my childhood, my parents. Uh, so the question is, were they strict? No, they were not strict. They gave me a lot of freedom. They gave me a lot of freedom, but they also taught me what's good for me and what's not good for me. Okay, so they helped me become independent and helped me become aware of what things I need to do to maintain good health. And obviously, they made sure that I study well. So I inherited my writing abilities from my mother because she is the one really who taught me how to write essays and how to think and how to imagine, and that initial push that a child needs to go in a certain productive direction. I got that from my mom. So um, and no, I guess they did not need to be strict with me, but obviously, uh, you know, I, I learned what guidelines I need to follow. And I had good teachers in school, so I was very fortunate. I had good classmates. I had a very good environment. I went to good schools, and so when I was in school, I had a great time. When I was at home, it was a very clean environment, and I learned to have a routine. Okay, so waking up on time, and did I play video games? Yes, but in moderation. Did I play sports? As I said, I did in moderation. So nothing extreme. And so just growing up, I had, as I said, lots of food allergies. But then as I grew older, I just became stronger. And, it's all God's will. It's all God's will. So Terry writes, Tosif was a perfect child. I don't know about perfect, Terry. I don't. No one's perfect, but I think I was okay. You should ask my mom. She'll tell you. All right. Let's see. So Pamela writes, cool, this is refreshing to hear, Tosif. Well, thank you. You can ask me anything, and I'll do my best to answer, okay? Sister Plays is a viewer who's here. Sister Plays, welcome to the live stream. I don't know if that's a complete sentence that you wrote, so please write whatever comment or question you have. Pamela writes, I was a good girl growing up. Then as I got older, I was terrible. And now being older, I asked for forgiveness and felt bad. And now I can say I'm doing better, a lot better. Well, Pamela, throughout life, we learn, right? We learn at every step in life. It's a learning experience. And so, I learn things. I think about my days as a teenager. I think about my days when I was in my 20s. And maybe 20 years from now, I'm going to think about my days now and everything that I'm learning. So we're always learning, and we're always trying to improve and become better human beings, right? It's a continuous process. All right. So any more questions from me, my friends? I know we're close to the 1 hour mark, but I am in no rush. I can hang out here. And in fact, I'd like to, because I don't have much to do after this. I'm just going to maybe try to read a book. Pamela writes, I'm 65. Well, I'm in my 30s, but I already have gray hair. When people ask me, I say it's politics. It's politics. If you're in politics, you're always thinking about the world, what's going on in your city, in your state, in your country, in your world, and you're thinking political strategy, you're doing political commentary. I mean, this is what happens. So this is wisdom, actually. So my silver hair, gray hair, white hair, whatever you call it, it's a sign of wisdom. I like to think that I'm becoming wiser every day. Whether or not it's true, I don't know. I'll let you judge that. But Pamela writes, I'm 65. So Pamela, have you always lived in California? Um, by the way, anyone else here who has not yet participated in the live chat, please, as you are joining, participate in the live chat. We're having a conversation here. Be a part of it. Be a part of this community. Okay? Pamela writes, yes, born and raised. Well, Pamela, you were born and raised in a very beautiful state. Sad to see that California is now ruled by the Democrats, but hopefully that'll change, and hopefully the conservatives will gain more political power to make California great again, right? It was a great state once upon a time. We have to make it great again. Sorry. All right. Any more questions from me, my friends? We just crossed the 1 hour time mark, but I'm gonna hang out here. By the way, please, I'm gonna request once again, watch that video that I uploaded, okay, from my speech today. Please watch it and share it, like it, write a comment. Write a comment when you watch that video. Please write a comment, hit the like button, and share it with someone. Pamela writes, am I the oldest person here? I don't know, Pamela. To be able to get an answer to your question, everyone who's listening will have to respond. And I would encourage that. Please respond and write something. Respond to Pamela's comment. Pamela wants to know if she's the oldest person here. So I'll Terry writes, not quite, Pamela, LOL. Okay, Pamela, so Terry might be a bit older than you. I don't know. Is that what you're suggesting, Terry? Oh. See, I like this. We can talk politics. We can talk elections and stuff. Or we could just get to know each other. We could get to know each other and just, have a great time. It's a Saturday night, so Pamela writes, Terry, and then a flower. So Terry, see, Pamela is giving you a very beautiful flower. That's so kind of Pamela. That's wonderful. See, I just, that's why I say this is a community. This is a growing community, and we all like to be a part of it, I'm sure, right? Terry writes, thank you, and then a heart. That's wonderful. So Pamela and Terry are both participating in the live chat. Well, Billy Wiggins was here. Billy said, be right back. So we're waiting for Billy to come back. But then, my friends, anyone else who's watching, please participate in the live chat. Pamela writes, I'm going to be 66 on Tuesday. So Pamela, your birthday is coming up. That is wonderful. So Tuesday is the 16th. So Pamela, your birthday is on the 16th of April. That is great. Happy birthday to Pamela in advance, a few days in advance. Happy birthday, Pamela. So Pamela, you got birthday plans? Anything special you're doing? Are you going to spend time with, Pamela writes after tax day. Pamela, I actually instantly thought about it. I thought about the tax day, but I didn't want to bring the IRS into the conversation. When we're talking birthdays, and when you mentioned your birthdays on Tuesday, on the 16th, I instantly thought about the tax day, but I didn't want to bring up IRS, but you did, so that's okay. JW is here. Hello, JW. Thank you for being here. JW writes, happy birthday, Pamela. Terry writes, oh my God, mine's the 23rd, so you are the oldest. LOL. All right, Pamela. You saw Terry's comments. So Terry's birthday is on the 23rd. Terry writes, our tax returns are done. We get a little bit back. Pamela writes, I'm older than Terry. JW writes, hello. All right. Yep. That's wonderful. So Terry's birthday is this month, and Pamela's birthday is this month. So we have two great birthdays this month, Terry and Pamela. Terry on the 23rd, Pamela on the 16th. My birthday is in October, so we're gonna have to wait. My birthday is right before right before less than a month before the election. So October, around my birthday time, it's gonna be very, very heated. The political situation, very exciting. Pamela writes, I always wanted to roller skate. Pamela, you can do that. Although I have always, I personally, I've been a little afraid of being on a roller skate. I always thought that I'm gonna fall and my feet are gonna go up and I'm gonna just fall on my back and get hurt. That's what I always thought, and that's why I'm not really excited about roller skating. But I know people enjoy it. It's really nice. So Pamela, do you want to do that roller skating? Sorry, my friends, I'm taking frequent sips of my tea. Excuse me for that. I hope it's not disrupting, like me frequently going like this. Anyway, let's see. All right. So Pamela, you can still roller skate. So Pamela, you got plans? Both Pamela and Terry, do you have plans for your birthday? What are you gonna do? Are you gonna stay at home, cook something nice, or go out and have a good time with family, friends, or loved ones? Pamela writes, I have to be packed around my body. Well, roller skate can be a little hazardous, so I would never want to do that. Terry writes, LOL, I have a dental appointment. Well, dental appointments are good because you need to have your dental appointments on time. I'm actually due for a dental appointment, just a maintenance appointment. I don't have any issues going on right now. I mean, my teeth are not the most perfectly aligned. You can tell, but I'm okay with it. It's just that I need a maintenance appointment, and I actually have the appointment scheduled. I've just had to postpone it a few times because of other things going on in life. Terry writes, once you get old, birthdays can be ignored. No, Terry, we need to celebrate all the birthdays. You have to celebrate all the birthdays. Pamela writes, don't know. I'll have to wait and see. All right. Okay. Yeah, whatever you end up doing, just I hope you have a wonderful birthday, both Terry and Pamela. So JW is here. I see that. So JW, how are things going in Ohio? JW, please watch the video that I uploaded earlier this evening. It's a video of my 20-minute speech from this morning. I was at the caucus of the 2nd Congressional District Republican Party in Wisconsin, and I was the featured speaker at the event. So I have the entire speech on video. Thanks to my mother who videotaped it, who captured it on camera. And so please take a look at that. Let me know what you think about the speech and the audience reactions. The audience was great. All freedom-loving Americans who want to make America great again. Let's see. All right. So JW, I'm gonna hope that you get to watch it. JW writes, okay, I'll watch that probably tomorrow. Good job. Yes, I remember you told us about that. How many people were at the event? So JW, I think so. I was talking about that earlier in the live stream today. I would say, I didn't ask how many, but easily 150, I think. Easily 150. Okay, yeah, easily. I mean, it was a packed room. It was a big room. Easily 150. I don't know. I mean, maybe a little more. I actually have to ask. I have to ask the organizer. His name is Billy Johnson. He's a good friend of mine. He's the chairman of the Second Congressional District, Republican Party here in Wisconsin, and he's the one who invited me to the event. You'll be able to see him on video because he introduced me. And I didn't get to ask him how many people were there, but all I knew was I had a room full of people. All right, and let me see something here. Give me 1 second. I'm just checking out Twitter to see if anyone posted. I mean, there are pictures posted about it, so I don't know if somebody posted like maybe the total number of audience. Let me see something here. Just give me 1 second, all right? All right. Let's see. I'm gonna have to ask. It's a good question. How many people? I would say 150. Just from my observation. Let me just see one more thing, okay? I'm checking out some of the Twitter feed from my friends in case one of them mentioned how many people were there. Otherwise, I can get you the answer tomorrow, but I think it was 150 or so. I mean, could have been 145, could have been 160, but 150 is my guess. But a lot of people, yeah. It was a packed room. All right. Let's see, my friends. Give me 1 second. By the way, I gotta tell you one thing. The Senate race in Wisconsin, it's getting more exciting. The front runner from the Republican side is Eric Hovde, very, very successful businessman. And he's running for U.S. Senate. He's the front runner from the GOP. And then Tammy Baldwin is the incumbent Democrat senator. And I think Eric Hovde is doing pretty good. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens. We still have many months left. And I'll keep you posted, but pay attention to this to the Senate race. If we defeat Tammy Baldwin, it'll be awesome. It'll be awesome. All right, let me see. Give me 1 second here. Yeah, I don't see anyone mention how many people were there, so that's okay. All right. Any other questions for me, my friends? I see we're getting close to the 1 hour, 15-minute time mark, but I am in no rush. I can hang out here. If there are more things you want to discuss, that'll be great. Pamela writes, Tausif, do you go to events in different cities or states? Yes, I do. And I do. I go to events in Wisconsin, obviously, to different cities and, different states. Yeah, well, I have been to many Republican Party events in Illinois, in the neighboring state. I have some really wonderful friends who are part of the Republican Party in northern Illinois. So Winnebago County, McHenry County, the Rockford region, Chicago. So I have some really great friends there. And so there's a group called the Northern Illinois Republican Women. So it's a women's group, and men also attend those events. Um, and so I have been to a few Christmas parties that they have had, and I've been to a few like Lincoln Day dinners. And it was back in 2018. I got to meet Governor Rauner, the Republican governor of Illinois at the time. And obviously, Governor Rauner did not win re-election, and that's how Illinois ended up with J.B. Pritzker. But anyway, I had the opportunity to meet Governor Rauner in Illinois at a Lincoln Day dinner. So yeah, but in Wisconsin, yes, I go to many events in different cities and states. Pamela writes, have you been to events in California? What is different from here as compared to Wisconsin? I have not been to political events in California. The last time I was in California was 2007. All right. So Pamela, it's been many years since I've been to California. So I have not been to California. But you know what? If California Republicans invite me to come and do a speech at a major event, I'd love to do it. I'd love to do it. Okay? I would love to. And so, yeah, so here in Wisconsin, I'm always traveling. I go to a lot of political events, and I do a lot of speeches, and I have many friends here. Susan Epp is here. Susan writes, hello. Hello, Susan. Wonderful that you're here. Glad to see you. So, Pamela, if I ever have an opportunity to go to California and do a speech to share my immigration story, I'd love to do it. I'd love to do it. Okay? Terry writes, I'm surprised I don't have a local Republican group. Well, Terry, you should get involved with the South Dakota Republican Party. If you're not involved already, you should do that, Terry. Yeah, you've got political background and political history here in Wisconsin, so I think you'll do great. Yeah. So Terry, once you get involved with the South Dakota Republicans, please ask the South Dakota Republicans to subscribe to my YouTube channel, please. Okay? Let's get more South Dakota Republicans involved in this community, in this live stream. So, Susan, how are you doing? How are things on your end? Terry writes, there's a state party. I will. Yes, please. And maybe I can visit in the not so distant future and get to know the South Dakota Republicans. Terry writes, I think it's because everyone is Republican. That's great. That is great. Susan writes, kind of humdrum. Okay, Susan. So, yeah. Hopefully things get better for everyone. I think all over the country right now, people are kind of frustrated. People are kind of sad. People are kind of worried and anxious because of the border crisis and inflation and all these other problems that we have. All the problems that we could have avoided only if we would have Donald Trump in the White House. But we ended up with Joe Biden. I don't know. I mean, I voted for Trump. I voted for Trump in 2016 and in 2020. So I don't know how we ended up with Joe Biden. But since Joe Biden came to office, everything's been going in the wrong direction. So there isn't much excitement overall. And people are kind of sad. But let me tell you, I think the excitement is building up in anticipation that Donald Trump will win the election. There was a lot of excitement in the room that I was in today. Lots of excitement because people are looking forward to seeing Donald Trump win the White House again. Susan writes, the weather is crummy. Well, we have no control over the weather, Susan. Although the Democrats will say that, the weather is bad because we're burning fossil fuels, right? But that's not the case. The weather will change. It'll get better, and then it'll get cloudy and rainy and snowy again, and then it'll get better, bright and sunny again. That's how it works. That's how nature works. Pamela writes, "Can you do a live cooking video so I can get tips on eating healthy and better?" I would love to do that, Pamela, but you know what? I have to for that I actually have to get some hardware to place my camera in the right position. Okay, if you want me to do a live cooking video, I would really have to make sure that I have some kind of a studio set up in the kitchen area, and for that I'm gonna need maybe like a nice phone stand with I'll need some more equipment. So, but that's a great idea, Pamela. That is a wonderful idea, and you know what? I will think about it, and I'll try to do it. A live cooking video. I can't promise that it'll be in the near future though, because I do have to. I do need some extra equipment to set up a live video in my kitchen area, live video setup in my kitchen area. But that's definitely a great idea. And what I may try to do is, I don't know about live, but I may actually try to, rather than doing 60 seconds or less shorts videos, maybe I can make a little bit of a longer video, maybe like a 10-minute video, maybe a 10-minute video to show some detailed steps of my cooking, because the 60 seconds video doesn't capture the entirety of all the steps, Pamela. So but that's a great idea, a live cooking video. So what? I don't understand your latest comment, Pamela. Can you explain that? That'd be great. Okay, so let's see. All right, so we are getting close to the 1 hour and 25-minute time mark. I so very much enjoy all your comments, all your questions, and all the ideas. Like Pamela just recommended that I do a live cooking video, so I think that's a great idea. I'll try to make it happen. I just can't promise that it'll be in the next few months. Pamela writes, "I just want to make sure it's okay with everyone here. Live cooking video. Yeah, if I do a live cooking video, I'll actually announce it maybe a day or two in advance, because people would have to know that on such and such day I'm going to do a live cooking video, so that they can tune in. So I'll make sure, and it's probably not going to be this time. It's not going to be a nighttime video, right? It'll probably be a daytime video, maybe a weekend." Susan writes, "I watched your speech at the event." Thank you, Susan. What did you think about it? Susan, I want to hear your comments now, please. So Susan, write your comments. I want to hear what you thought about the video. Almost a 20-minute video. And please let me know your comments. I'm going to wait. I'm going to hang out here, Susan, and I'll wait for you to write your comments. Because, I really want to know what people think about it. And especially those who were not present at the event. Like, all of you who are here on this live stream, you were not at the event, but you watched the video. So I want to hear your comments. You can probably tell that I have a little bit of the allergy. I have a little bit of a nasal congestion, and this is April for me. April and May, I get those seasonal allergy problems. And maybe in a few days my eyes may even get a little red and itchy, because that's what happens to me, especially when the flowers start blooming and there's pollen in the air. I leave my apartment, I go outside, and then I feel itchy because of the pollen, the irritation. But I also love the flowers. I love the flowers. I want to see the flowers bloom. And so, you know what? If you love the flowers, you're going to have to deal with the pollen. That's okay. Susan writes, I liked it. However, I would like to know more details of what immigration put you through. Did you have to get a physical, pass a test on the Constitution, etc.? Oh, so you want to know the detailed steps. So when I was young, I was a little boy. Uh, I don't know what the application process was because it was, I was a kid, so I didn't I don't know when the initial application was put in. I know what I know is that it took approximately 11 years, I am told, 11 years from the time of the application to the time when my parents and we had to appear for an interview at the U.S. Embassy in Bangladesh. And then, you know, we had to go through the paperwork, and we got the immigrant visa, came to the U.S., got the green card, and then we had to follow lots of rules for the green card. When we were on the green card, we had to, like, for example, when I was a green card holder, every time I changed my address, so moved from one residence to another, moved from one apartment to another, I had to let the U.S. government know that I moved, that I changed my address. Okay, so there are lots of reporting requirements and rules that you have to follow. And then to become a U.S. citizen, you have to meet residency requirements, and then you have to fill up an application. It's called the N-400 application for citizenship. And then you also have to appear for a civics test. You also have to appear for an English language test. And and then there's an interview, and if everything goes well, so I'm just giving you like the quick version. And then there's also a biometric. You have to go for your biometrics. And then after everything goes well, they ask you, the government sends you a letter and says, appear for the oath of allegiance. And when you appear for the oath of allegiance and you take the oath to become a U.S. citizen, you just become a U.S. citizen and you get your naturalization certificate. So that's like the quick version, but it's much more detailed. And in fact, I can easily spend 1 hour. I can easily spend 1 hour just talking about the details of this immigration process. Okay? I can talk about the N-400 application. I can talk about the civics test, some of the questions that are on the test, so on and so forth. So I can, I'm just giving you like the quick version. Let's see. All right. Let me see some comments here. Susan, okay. So Susan, I hope that answers your question a little bit. Pamela writes, do they do that now? Pamela, you know what? I don't know if the process has changed, or if it has, if it has changed, what kind of changes have occurred. What you can do is go to uscis.gov. Excuse me. USCIS is United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. So you can go to the website of USCIS, United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. And once you go there, you will find the details, like of the steps, what you have to do to become a citizen, and the steps to become a naturalized citizen, and the naturalization interview and test, and the requirements, and so on and so forth. So you'll find all the information there. And so, I'll let you take a look at that. When I do the presentation, I talk about my experience. So I talk about what I went through. But if any of the procedures have changed now, those changes will be on USCIS website. Jim is here. Jim writes, Solar Jim here. So Jim, if I remember correctly, you're from Chicago, right? Chicago. So Jim, why do you say solar gym? Is there a reason for that? You're right, solar gym. I like that name, solar gym. But is there a reason? Let's see. We'll wait for Jim to respond. I'm very relaxed today, and so I can hang out here. Jim writes, I was a carpenter out of Chicago, also doing plumbing and electrical, and in 2008, I started my solar energy career. Wonderful. Wonderful. That's great to hear. Um, Great to hear, Jim. So thanks for sharing a little bit about you. And you live in Chicago. By the way, when I talk about Chicago, I always say it's a great city, beautiful city, but the politics, the Chicago politics, is really causing a lot of damage, and the Chicago residents are suffering because of Chicago politics, and Brandon Johnson and the city council, what they are doing with the city. Jim writes, I have built multi-hundred megawatts of solar energy across. Oh, that's wonderful. So Jim is in the energy industry. That's pretty cool, Jim. Thank you for sharing that. Um, so that is great. Pamela writes, does it cost a lot to get one's immigration status? So Pamela, any process, the immigration process is does include it will cost, it does involve costs, because, for example, if you want to fill out the N400 application, there's an application fee for that. Okay, there's an application fee for the N400 application. And then if you want to take help from an immigration attorney to fill out the application, or to represent you in the immigration process, then obviously you have to pay for the attorney fees, right? And so it varies from people to people. And for some individuals, the immigration process is pretty simple. But if somebody has a complicated immigration case, let's say if somebody was arrested, like an immigration was arrested, or broke some kinds of laws and rules, or did something that complicates the naturalization, the citizenship process, then and if somebody requires legal advice and lawyers to help resolve some of the problems, some of the legal issues, then that would obviously involve a lot of money. So it varies from people to people. Any more questions for me? So Jim, thank you for sharing that. So Jim, how did you find my channel? Were you scrolling and it just popped up? Because I'm glad you found me, because I am looking forward to growing this community. And I try to do live streams every night. Well, yesterday I could not do a live stream because I was preparing for my presentation, my speech this morning, and I had so many other things going on. But I try to do a live stream every day, and so I appreciate new viewers. Pamela writes, the reason I'm asking, because in the 70s it was not expensive. Yeah. So things tend to become more expensive over time, right, Pamela? And so, yeah, I don't know what the situation was like in the 70s, but yeah, even like the application fees, the fees go up over time. And, that's basically what happens. So, Jim, as I was telling my viewers earlier, I have an e-newsletter that I send out, and I usually send out once or twice a month So if you would like to receive my e-newsletter, there's no fee for that. It's free. It's just an email that you get. All I need is your email address. And you can sign up for my e-newsletter by going to my website, tausifanam.net. Tausifanam, that's my name, tausifanam.net. And if you scroll down a little bit on the home page, you'll see there's a space where you can that you can enter your email address and sign up for my e-newsletter. So you can do that, and if you don't like it, you can unsubscribe anytime. But I sent an e-newsletter out earlier this evening with information about my upcoming speech in Door County, Wisconsin. That's on May 4th. And I also sent out a link to the speech that I delivered this morning at the 2nd Congressional District Caucus of the Republican Party. So there's a link to the video in my e-newsletter. And Jim, if you're scrolling on my YouTube channel, if you're browsing on my YouTube channel, please check out the video that I published today, which is the video of the speech that I delivered. So Jim, thank you so much for finding my channel and for connecting. And I hope that you'll stay connected and come back for more live streams and more videos. I would appreciate that. So Jim, you are in Chicago, so you are technically a neighbor, because I'm in Wisconsin and you are in Illinois. So are you in Chicago or in, you are in Chicago, you mentioned that. Okay. So that's great. I love Chicago. Actually, I need to go to Chicago pretty soon, but I just haven't done that. Excuse me. All right. Okay. So any more questions for me, my friends? Any more comments? Any more questions? Otherwise, I'm going to wrap up this live stream here in a few minutes. But if you have questions, if you have comments, if there are things you want to discuss, I will continue. All right. And one more thing I just want to say, please share my videos, like my videos, and help me increase the size of the audience, help me get more subscribers so that we can have more people during these live streams, so that we can have more people engaging in the live chat window. Pamela writes, have a great night, everyone. So thank you, Pamela. You have a wonderful night too. And I'm gonna wrap up this live stream. Maybe I'll stay for maybe 1 or 2 more minutes. If somebody has questions or would like to simply say hi or simply introduce yourself, please do so. Otherwise, I will be ending this live stream in a minute or 2. All right. Anyone else here? Susan writes, okie dokie, good night. Well, thank you, Susan. Have a wonderful night. I'll hang out for maybe 1 more minute, and then I'll end it. And my hot tea is also, well, I still have a little bit of leftover because this is a big cup. All right, my friends. Thank you all for joining. I want to thank each and every one of you. Billy Wiggins from New York, my friend Terry Dunlap from South Dakota, Pamela Hernandez from California, Susan F. from California, Jim from Chicago. And did I miss anyone? Anyone I missed? Did I miss anyone? Pamela writes, are you going to be back on tomorrow? Pamela, yes, it is my goal to be back on a live stream tomorrow. I don't know what time it'll be. Is it going to be 9 p.m., 10 p.m., or maybe a little bit earlier in the day? But yes, I will try to do a live stream tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. And I thank you for asking. So I will be back tomorrow, hopefully. So thank you, Pamela. My friends, we're approaching the 1 hour, 40-minute time mark. Thank you all for joining this live stream. Please stay connected. Please share my videos with your friends, family members, and your neighbors. And don't forget to watch my video, my speech from earlier today. And thank you once again. So I'll be back again soon with more videos, more live stream. Have a wonderful night, my friends.